Hello, how we doing? It's Pat Reichling again. Very excited for what I've been working with. This class has really helped me to take my assessments to the next level. I've been pretty comfortable with technology thus far, but I got to be honest, some of the ideas that people were bouncing off in discussions really made me take it to the next level. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through two assessments. One was a summative, one was a formative assessment. I kind of combined the two options for the project, but I really feel like it was a benefit to do both of them to this unit because I think they fit so well. So I'm going to start walking you through with a little bit of Screencastify and show you what I was able to accomplish within my own classroom. So as you can see, what I've done is I've taken a PDF. Normally, I would have usually given this out as a paper copy, and I've put it as a PDF and I've shared it with them on Google Classroom, which is what we use in our school district. And I go ahead and I give them what it's about, defense mechanisms, and then I list the different defense mechanisms and give some examples. It's very early in the unit. I don't expect them to have these memorized, and it also provides a quick glance in case they're a little bit unsure of themselves. As you can see down here, this is where I give the instructions. Get into small groups, use just this paper, notes, whatever you may need to look up defense mechanisms. What I found works really well in this is that not only am I going to assess them when they give their group presentation, I can also assess them as we're walking around and I'm talking to them in their groups. So you're going to go ahead and ask them, how are you doing? Maybe ask some follow-up questions. It's going to allow you to see who is doing well and maybe who needs a little more guidance or a little nudge in the right direction. So it gives you that informal assessment you're looking for on a day-to-day basis, and they don't even know that it's happening. They don't know that you're assessing them. So I found that this worked very well, and other than a few kids being a little more shy than what I had hoped, I could really tell that they took these to heart and they started to really bring out the everyday uses they have for these different defense mechanisms. So the next assessment I did, this is a summative assessment. This is a test that I normally would give on pen and paper. And what I've done is I've transferred it over to a Google form. I've been experimenting with this a little bit, and I got to be honest, I really do enjoy it. So do the kids. So you can see pretty straightforward. You know, for me, I always go through and do the answer key and then put their school email in so that I can stay in contact with them. And you can see by the red stars that I've required these so that they can't skip over and they don't miss anything. I do like the fact that Google Forms allows you to do a lot of those old style testing, multiple choice, matching. In this case, this is my matching section. It's a drop down list so they can go through and they can simply choose what answer they want to put in there. Again, they can move back and forth. I try to break mine up so that there's not 50 questions all on one page. Okay, and what you see is I've made these all required so that they can't skip one over. Now, they can go ahead and look through the whole page, but they need to complete this page before they can move on. I have found that this is very helpful, even though some students don't like it because they like to just leave answers blank. You know, I always feel that at least if I'm giving you options, you can always take a guess. And this makes the students go out of their comfort zone just a little bit and make that guess. So once you've finished with your answers on that page, you come to the bottom and you click Next, and it's going to take you to the next phase of this test. Now here we have our old-fashioned standard multiple choice. I give the question, and then they can simply click on whatever answer they choose. Again, this little star lets them know that it's required, so even if they don't know, they can go ahead and make a guess. They can always come back to it and change it later, but at least they have a guess down so that if they're running low on time, that'll give them a chance. So again, you go through, click whatever answers you want. And then as we get to the bottom, we're going to go ahead, and once we've finished, we can click Next again. Now, this next page is what brings us to the little bit of a twist on an old idea. Here we have an essay question. I always like essay questions because I feel they give the student the best chance to demonstrate what they think they know. And sometimes it doesn't always get the most concise answer, but it does help them kind of let you let you know what they're dealing with. What I've done is I've given them two options. Option one, you may type your answer in the space provided below and submit it as normal. So down here where it says answer, they can go ahead and type in an answer, however long it may need to be. Now the second option, we use WeVideo accounts. It's an online program that allows them to do screenshots. It allows them to make their own videos, whatever it may be. What I've done is I've given them the option that they can make a recorded response to this question. And you can see here I've included, remember to not worry about sounding smart or articulate. Simply talk about what we have learned and you will be fine. I find that most kids were a little scared of this idea because at first they thought, boy, I'm really nervous when I talk. I don't know that I'm going to get the right ideas across. But when they simply relaxed and just talked to me about what they know, I found that the answers were actually much more in-depth than what I would normally get for an essay question. So now I'm going to give you a slight demonstration of what WeVideo really is and how I've used it to help my students kind of explore different possibilities for testing. So you go to WeVideo and you choose Login. Now, it gives you all kinds of options. For us, we're a Google school, so I just have my students log in with Google. Again, it knows that I'm going to do this. You have all of your previous videos here, and then you can just simply go to Create New. Video Edit is one option. Project, if they're going to be doing things a lot where they want to tie it all together. In this case, they can just use Video Edit. They can click Next and open up the editor. And as it's doing this, you can tell that it's pretty user-friendly. It shows you all the clips that you've recorded previously, if you have any shared or any project media. But really, the nice thing is you can simply click this little record button here, and it's going to tell you, do you want to record from your webcam or do you want to record the screen? You know, sometimes if you want to do what I'm doing now, where I'm showing people how to click on different things and how to move through it, that screen record can be very, very valuable. So in this case, I'm just going to simply click the webcam, and then I'll click Continue. It's going to walk me through anything that I might need. Extensions, I had to go into incognito mode since I'm actually making this video using WeVideo. But again, you just go through and it's going to help you. And then down here, once you put your different videos in, you can shore them up, you can cut them, you can do all kinds of different things. It's very, very simple. When they're all finished, the students will simply come up here, click Finish Video, and then they're going to have a shareable file they can upload to YouTube. They can send me a public link. There's all kinds of different things. So one thing that really works well is to give your students the option. Maybe they don't want you to necessarily see them on their essay question. Have them just record the screen. There's nothing wrong with that in my mind. You know, you're still getting the information and the students don't feel that immediate pressure to, you know, look at the camera and make sure that they're not fidgeting or anything like that. This is not a performance. It's simply a way for them to orally tell me what they know and maybe give me the information in a different way. So after they've completed their video, they click Finish. It's going to go ahead and render itself. And then all they have to do is come up here to Videos. You can see I've done a few for this class. And they just click View Details. And down here, there's this little share button. They can share it on Twitter or they can share it on Facebook. So they really have a lot of options. They can also download it, delete it. This is the change privacy. We obviously want that open so that I can view it. But again, they come to this share link, and it's going to give them the code if they want to embed it on a website. Also, just the video link that I need, so they can just right-click it, copy, and then they're going to insert that right into that testing blank, and I'll be able to click on it and get all the information I need. It's very, very simple, and it's very user-friendly. I have the advantage in my classroom of being a one-to-one Chromebook school. So all of my kids have a webcam built right into their Chromebooks. That's what allows me to do this. I understand that this may be a step that not every teacher can take. I will tell you, I highly recommend trying it. We all like the face-to-face interview where we can really assess our kids and figure out what they know. And I think this is not a replacement of it, but it does help us move in that direction. It doesn't give you the back and forth, but you know what? I'm still working on it. Maybe someday. So that's a small sample of what I've been doing. It's worked tremendously in my classroom. There's always things that I'd go back and change. As I said in my paper, I really recommend, if you're going to do this, you have an area maybe in your own classroom. I was fortunate enough to have an adjoining classroom that I could put them in where they're not disturbing each other and they're also not listening to each other's answers. But I'll tell you right now, the student response has been outstanding. In fact, almost to a fault, because they keep asking me, Mr. Reichling, what are we doing next? And I'm trying, but I know that I got to make sure I got a handle on everything I'm doing so that I don't just bounce around from one idea to the next. That being said, if you're considering doing something, I highly recommend just jumping in with both feet. If you like it, you keep using it. If you don't like it, you can move on. But if you wait until you think you're perfectly ready, it's just not going to happen. It doesn't matter if it's pen and paper or if it's technology based. Nothing goes according to plan in the teaching world. So you might as well jump in head first and just let your students help you float. That's my suggestion to you. I hope this video was beneficial to you. I know that the information I got was beneficial to me, so I'm just trying to pass that on. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. You can get a hold of me using my YouTube channel, or you can hit me up on my Twitter at pjreichling.com. Thanks for watching. Hopefully everything keeps working well.